All right, now we're here for part 2 of the Rotary and the Dual Action. And I had so much information, I didn't even know I was filming that long. And when I started doing the editing and stuff, it was like 45 minutes long. No one's gonna wanna listen to me for 45 minutes. My own wife will not listen to me for 45 minutes. She kind of has me on a timer on her watch, and like at the 20-minute mark, does this, and then I kind of just got to go in my room. Here we are at the door. This is our passenger door. This is the one area that has not been finished out. There's also in the back trunk area, which we're going to do later on. What I wanted to kind of cover that I didn't get to in the last video was tape. A lot of times you will see detailers tape off certain areas. And that's really just to kind of protect that area. I kind of do it so I don't get a bunch of stuff inside the little crevices, which takes up time to come back later and clean. When you tape, try and tape in one long single piece. I couldn't get under there very well. The reason that helps is as your polisher is hitting this stuff, if you tape one here and then tape one there, and your polisher is going to kind of hit that, the pad's going to hit that, and it's going to start lifting your tape, and you just got to fix the tape. On this side, because I've already polished out this rear door, I've just put some tape right there just to protect that edge and the edge of the door that I will be polishing. It's on the door handle here, kind of see it in the picture a little bit, and that's to protect really more so from the edge of the pad as I get up in there, top, bottom, and all around. A lot of times what happens, and where boo-boos happen and mistakes happen, is we really pay attention to this area, but we don't pay attention to the edge. Whether it's a dual action or rotary, think of it like a small cutting tool, right? If you're not paying attention, and this edge is right here like this, and you're just paying attention to what you're polishing, you will burn this. You will cut into it. I've done it, right? After so many years of polishing, you just get focused about something, and then all of a sudden you melted a rear taillight or something. So be cautious of that. Now, on this door, we have door cups. Door cups typically have fingernail scratches. That's where these come in super handy. These are great. Yes, you can get in there, you can do it by hand. You can do a fairly good job doing it by hand, but these also work great in getting in there. Also with kind of how I have this one set up with an extension and a little bit larger pad, it allows you to kind of get up in there in these little certain tight areas. So works great for that. The other thing I wanted to show you were pads and the use of pads and what happens to pads after you've kind of used them a while. So detailing or polishing something like this, you're gonna go through pads, and I would probably go through 3 to 4 pads to do this car. Now, I'm not saying that they're totally gonna get wasted, but after a door or two, this pad will become clogged with the product you're using and also the paint, right? The clear coat from, you're going to be removing clear coat, and it's going to get clogged up into your pads, whether you got a kind of a wool pad or whether you got a foam pad. So you might do a door, set that pad aside and put on a new fresh pad and continue. Maybe then when you get up to the front fender, you put on, and these will have a moment or two to kind of dry out a little bit. Then if you got a pad washing system, clean the pads. If maybe you just have compressed air, just use compressed air, blow out the stuff, and you would continue on. But having multiple pads helps the process go a little bit faster, and you're gonna get better results. Because what can happen is if you're not cleaning your pads, your first door or your first panel comes out great. The next panel, your pad is clogged. And then the next panel, you're like, this door must have been more scratchier. More scratchier? Is that a word? Might be. Look up Anthony's Handbook of Detailing Scratchier. It's in there. Brand new pad. One that's seen some use. Through heat and friction, these pads will start to break down. Also, the abrasiveness of whatever you're using is going to affect the pad also, the structure of the pad. Nice and clean and so soft. Anyways, they do wear out, right? So you want to keep an eye on. If suddenly you notice that your pad and product choice is not being as effective when you first started, clean the pad, take a really good look at it. You can kind of see here, there is very little, there's material here, but it's thinned out and it's obviously not as fluffy and full as the outer edges. All right there in the center. So that's something to keep an eye out on. It also happens with, let's see, do I have a new one? I do. It also happens with foam. I'll show you here. Now these red pads, these NextZen red pads, they have a certain density to them when they're new. You see how it's a nice thick foam, right? It's great for mild cutting, mid polishing. That's what this pad's really good for. Now, as you use it, several cleanings, the structure of the foam will start to kind of open up and deteriorate a little bit. You might notice as you're using it a little more foaming or foam dust on it. I don't know if the camera can pick up just the different texture of that. This is soft, right? It gives more than this one. Heat and friction have broken down the foam structure. It's still a good pad. I keep these for areas, maybe the lower portions of the vehicle, right? And you just might have some schmutz down there that you don't want to put on a nice clean pad. That's what these are good for. And they make excellent Frisbees. So let's get started on this door. Okay, we're back. Change the angle a little bit. I don't know, maybe it'll get a better picture of the use of the rotary. So this was my wool pad. And I went hunting for, hopefully I could find a one that's newer and in better shape, but they're all kind of ragged and everything. This one's just about at its end. But I did find, as I'm going through the box, this wool pad. And it's kind of used also. It probably needs really good cleaning, but I just blew it out. I wanted to use it for this little segment here. Anyways, we're still going to use the same mixture, the NextZen Cut Master. We're going to apply it to our kind of our fake lamb's wool, right? And then as we come over here, we start to see what we just did with our synthetic lamb's wool, right? We do have swirls in there. Those are buffer trails. You can see those kind of flow like a 3D ribbon, right? Well, look at the clarity though. It's removed all of the random, except as we get into our little area here in the center, but it's removed everything random and just left us with basically buffer swirls and a few deeper random ones I can kind of see. As we get down here to the area where I wasn't really see, that lets you know that your pad, your combo is working properly. We come up to the area that we concentrated on and we have great clarity. So the next step is now clearing this out. So actually what I'm going to do, I'm going to finish out this door while the camera's rolling. It's going to be sped up. It's going to be kind of cut to shorten it. If not, we're going to be here like 2 hours. And really, I mean, 45 minutes is really bad with me. But 2 hours, yeah. You guys are going to need therapy after that. enjoyed the music. So we're gonna polish this area out. This is our first kind of compounding residue left. I switched to a really nice firm pad, and my mixture of the NextZen Cutmaster, fine. RPMs, I got it at 1, and it's really, what is that? 600 RPMs. It's very, very low. All right, we're gonna take a look at this. It's almost pretty much swirl-free, finished with the rotary. All right, we just got done polishing this with the rotary, red pad, my finishing mixture of the Cutmaster. And I'd say we are pretty much swirl-free. There are no buffer trails left in this. There's a little bit of residue from the oils in the emulsion, and that'll all come out with the prep solvent. So I'm not going to apply any more of the fine polish. All I'm going to do is put a dab or two of emulsion, just a little bit. Kind of reactivate this, continue on. Oh, got my pad a little funky there. But In my refining steps, if there's this little concave right here, instead of using a larger pad in my refining when I'm using a rotary, I'll always opt for something that can fit in that area better. As up top here, right here also, just gives me a nicer finish. Then down here for the bulk of the door, I'm going to be using a larger pad. All right, we have done our couple of steps with the rotary polisher. Now we're going to finish it. So we have our finishing pad, our white finishing pad on. Let me kind of get this a little bit more centered. There we go. Speed on my rotary, I'm really not going to go over 1,000 RPMs for this step here. And I'm really not going to use a whole lot of product. It's just going to be enough product to kind of get things wet up again. Wet up again? Wet again. Something like that. Key here is trying to keep as flat, your rotary as flat as possible, even as you come into this little dip. Now I'm going to finish this out with the little 3-inch polisher. Yeah, so it looks good. Just got some oils, some residual oil from the emulsion. All right, I'm going to bring the camera over. We're going to take a look at this door right here. You will notice perhaps some residual oils from the cut master and the properties of it being so workable. But let's take a look. You can see I don't have any buffer trails. Well, you know what? I might have 1 or 2 in there. I could easily go over those. But yeah, a swirl-free finish is possible with a rotary. It just takes a little more time. It takes a little technique. You want to be able to slow your rotary down. You want to use the proper pad, right? So you want a soft as pad as you possibly can with a really super fine product to end with, much like the NextZen Fine there, or just the NextZen emulsion. We have great clarity on here. Man, it is just an amazing paint. Looks beautiful. Now there's no buffer swirls, no buffer trails. If we do happen to have one, it might be real slight. A dual action polisher, soft pad, it's going to take care of it. But it looks good. Now you're going to notice as we start to come down the door, we may pick up some residual oils. Let me get down here also. Yeah, right there. So you see all those oils? That's just from the NextZen Cutmaster system. They're not buffer trails. So all in all, looks great. We're going to do the rest of the prep solvent on this door. And then what we're going to do is we're going to start coating. All right. Well, that is the end of our little rotary dual action kind of thing. Finished out this door, right? You witnessed it. Swirl-free, rotary. There's a technique to it. You learn the technique, you're going to finish out swirl-free, for the most part, right? But if not, the dual action can come in and take care of everything. It's a great 1-2 punch to detailing. Once again, not competing one with the other, complementing one with the other. If you like that, give me a like, give me a thumbs up. Got a comment? Maybe you got a polisher and you're scared to use it or something. Leave a comment down below, please, and give us a subscribe. We got the rear trunk area coming up next, so look for that. Thank you all for watching. Y'all take care.